episode of Cobble Max Engineering.
Drybonesgarage. This video is part of a series where me and my dad take a 63 Corvair and a G-body frame and put them together to create a hot rod. In this video, we close up the passenger side firewall to the point of the HVAC. We also work with the Malibu a little bit, just a little bit, and we finally put the floor pan in. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you at the end of this video.
Need to give it a relief cut right here so we can kind of get this around the other side and just barely have a lip in there, something we can bite into. But yeah, we get this in, then we can cut pretty much all of this out. We're going to want to keep this to make relief or space for the exhaust, but after that we need to start rolling into that wheel well, and this will be a good break point. I'm not sure what we're going to do here, but we're going to have to get that floor forward and then start building up. So this will be a good transition point right there. I think. We'll find out if I have my head shoved in my backside again here shortly though. Okay, I like that. Listen up.
Top fell off. After that, Dad did some work on the Malibu.
I'm 99% certain I got these. This is all it allows, huh? I don't have any of those. We'll call it the 1 bar. I think I did that wrong. TPS auto set. This is what I was screwing up yesterday. Well, listen to that gas tank. Tell me if you hear any buzzing out of that thing. Does not sound to me like that pump is firing.
The breaker for the fuel pump was tripped. So my dad tried to fire it up and it ended up squirting gas all over the place. Yeah.
Hard.
After doing some diagnostics, he figured out that the injectors were bad, so he replaced them. Dad said that the car's pig-rich and in great need of a tune, but he's happy with it firing.
What do you think?
It looks ugly. It's hard to do this and roll at the same time.
Yeah? You need some help? She needs your help.
I'm trying to and go into the same
Okay, so then work your way back around through here and back up, and then we'll have to start shaping this, okay? Get that as close as you can and still see what you're trying to do so you know you're getting that gun right where it needs to be. And the second that metal starts pulling away from your base, start working it down, okay? That did something.
I blew another hole.
Oh, why'd you do that? Where are you going?
It's hard to see in this thing.
Well, the other thing you can do is just take that off, get your gun in place, and then when you're ready to pull a trigger, avert your eyes, do the little donut. When I start having problems like that, I'm in a situation where I can't see. If you noticed, I'll put my helmet down, but I'm not looking at that weld. All right, don't be looking at that bead when you're running it. It's just a quick little zip and a donut with your eyes averted, and then go back and check your work. Because at that point, you're literally working off the field. What'd you do? A little better?
I made a little dot.
Where?
I made a dot.
That's what you needed. Now, if you actually kind of hold the gun up here a little bit, you're an artist, all right? You're very good at drawing. Now draw a teeny tiny circle with that gun. Just a teeny tiny little donut. Okay. Move the bead around. What you're trying to do is actually catch both sides of that seam. Okay. And just kind of walk right up the line until you get about here. Then we got to start doing a little bit of metal work to get everything to lay nice and flat to our base. That didn't sound good. What I'll actually do is I'll kind of feel the seam with the wire. I'm kind of guessing because I don't have a whole lot of stick out with that wire right now. That was a little high. Don't look at the fire, but look at the gun, okay? Did you see how it just kind of a little bit of a wiggle? All I did was rotate it on my knuckle, okay? Okay, now get in there with that little die grinder
And grind
that finger
this.
sander and smooth that all out. Once you've got that done, go back and touch up whatever needs touching up.
Is this better? This line right here better than this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the improvement is showing.
But
This
it's
right
good.
here is close to ideal. Stacked up a little tighter.
What? Wait, this?
Those four
thing?
right there are really nice.
Flatter.
That's what you're gunning for. If it holds, it's good enough. This isn't structural, and it isn't aesthetic either necessarily. That's why we're doing all of this on this.
Okay.
Okay, this is where we're improving our skills. This is where we're learning. This is where we're growing.
Your dad's scavenging for parts that we might be able to use to fab up an HVAC for the car. For now, we're going to leave the rest of the curbside open until we have a better picture of what we need to do or what we can do for the HVAC system. Dad,
Huh?
so what do you think?
I think that firewall is going to translate better than I was anticipating. You know, with this all being squared off and that being as round as it was, I was a little nervous about it. But I think this is going to work out better than I figured it would. And the patches are going to be smaller than I thought they'd have to be. So, yeah.
That's great. Less cutting and welding for us, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Less material wasted on that whole process too. So, yay. There we go. Those flanges back there need to be trimmed back so we can actually lay that flat into our rear bulkhead and start welding it. We can do that one of two different ways. We can bend them out of our way, or we can cut them. If we bend them, then we can actually use it as something to weld to, to bite in. So I think what we're going to do is back here, we're actually going to carry this straight over to the existing body rather than bring it down and flat and try and cover this up. We'll just carry it over, and that should, in theory, give us a little bit more strength and rigidity, because we've got that angle working all the way to the body of the car. Should stiffen that up, and then that eliminates these tight little corners that we have to work in as well. And now that floor is in there, I don't want to take it out. So yeah, the more I think about it, the more I like that idea versus trying to cut that, because then, it's nothing much, but it is a point of contact that tightens and reinforces everything back there. Holy crap, kidder. This thing's getting closer.
You say that a lot.
Well, this is a major step here. We fill that hole, and that's huge. Granted, we didn't build any of it. We bought that. But that's a gaping hole in the car that we don't have to worry about anymore.
My legs are gonna be at a 90-degree angle in there.
The rear foot walls in this thing aren't going to be nearly as deep as the G-bodies were.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be sitting in the back of this car very much. We need to get this thing supported, flat, centered, and then we can put a couple of spots back here, to hold it in place where we can actually reach. And then we need to center the front end and get that positioned where we want it, flat, square. See if we can actually tie it to something that's existing in the firewall so it doesn't move. And then we can start figuring out what we have to do to make it fit. What pieces and panels we have to start forming up. I think at this point in time, that is going to be a very low priority until we figure out how we're going to deal with that HVAC. If we're going to build something into that and what that's going to have to look like to make it happen and work right.
Your dad's just measuring things and trying to square them up. It took a bit of elbow grease to push the bulkhead closer to the floor, but we spotted them both together okay. By the way, I'm really happy to see that the floor pan's already being welded in. I didn't think we were that far into the build already, so yeah. After watching my dad for a while, I jumped in and welded the driver's side of the bulkhead to the floor. I felt like I did a better job on it than I did with the patch earlier. So that's about it. It was a bit of a happy ending, I'd say. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like. And if you'd like to see more of what we're doing, please make sure to hit the subscribe button too. Other than that, have a gorgeous day and a gorgeous weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Now for another episode of Max Engineering. Where's your butchery? It's our trademark. Because we don't know our butts from a hole in the ground. We're just having fun. You got little binds. 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 Brains.